continuing our HBO Max Warner Brothers movie dump. This week, we had the privilege of seeing Mortal Kombat.
Yes, we have. What do you think?
This movie was a hot, steaming pile of monkey poo. This is really bad.
Okay.
This is so bad. But no, this movie was a clusterfuck. It was a complete clusterfuck, and I gotta say, I never was a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat movies. I thought the Mortal Kombat movies were pretty lame and cheesy and not really well done. I was never a huge video game player, so
Right.
outside of seeing the movies, I really didn't know much about the Mortal Kombat mythology and everything. And
Right.
from what I understand, though, there's some really cool characters, some really interesting characters. And a lot of fun characters, and it's very violent, which is always what little bit of the video game I've seen played looks very cool. I can really see why people are attracted to the game and why there's been such a huge fan base. My only thing to say about this movie is the fans deserved better. They really deserved a better movie than what they got here.
I've never watched Mortal Kombat. I didn't see I guess it was the 95 I guess it came out in 95 or 80. I don't know. But I haven't seen that version.
The first one came out around the mid-90s, I think. I can't remember the year exactly. I've seen all of them. I honestly can't remember that much about them because I did not like any of them. Annihilation, I guess, was the last one. That was the final one, which was one of the worst movies maybe ever made, period.
So would you say this movie's worse than any of those?
I'm not sure if I would say it's worse. I would say that it's about on par with the first one, the one that I remember. I haven't seen that movie in 20 years, probably. So it's probably on par with the first one that came out in the 90s.
Right.
And it didn't have to be. And that's what really pisses me off. This movie is so badly written and so badly executed at the end of the day that what little bit of the violence and fight scenes that you could enjoy, you have to put up with so much crap by the time you get there. There's not much of a payoff. I will say the opening 5 minutes, probably the best part of the film.
Oh, yeah. I really like the opening 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, as someone that has not seen the original Mortal Kombat or the sequels, I really did walk into this fairly cold. I didn't play the video games, and I know this was a big video game movie. Probably, I think, the only successful video game movie so far, because everybody always say, well, every video game movie, they try to be Mortal Kombat, meaning the success that movie had. So I did walk into this fresh eye, fresh face. And that first 5 minutes, I got to tell you, I really liked it a lot. I was actually surprised how invested I was in the characters. And I think the character of, I guess the character that would eventually be Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And yeah, I mean, that 5 minutes, the little assassination that happened in the beginning, especially the Scorpion's family, I was invested. And the fighting, I thought, was good.
Because you figure you've been developing this thing for a while, over 20 years. You're thinking, wow, so maybe they're taking this thing seriously. And now maybe they're actually wanting to do a real story.
It was real violent as hell. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, if the rest of the movie is like this 5 minutes, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this. And it wasn't.
No, then you get introduced to some MMA fighter that's not even in the regular video game, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's like the lead that's not in the original. He's not part of the original characters of the first Mortal Kombat. I never really understood that. Well, it's like, why do you feel the need to create a character based off of a source material that has other characters and not just do it of the other characters?
I guess they wanted to make it their own, maybe.
It really was. I'm not even sure what I was watching. It was just basically bad acting, bad direction, and characters that really, really, I don't know.
we talked about the first 5 minutes, which is the only thing
Really
positive about
good.
it. And I
Yes.
will say that the final fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion uh, is pretty cool. It's pretty well
Well,
done, I thought,
let's just say for now, the best character in the movie is Sub-Zero. I mean, he steals the
without a
show.
doubt. Yeah, I mean he's your
You know,
Darth
but
Vader, right?
well,
He's your
yeah.
heavy.
And not to mention the coolest scene in the entire movie. This, and the truth of the matter, it's in the trailer. Is after I think he cuts Scorpion, and the Scorpion blood comes out, and it freezes, and he grabs that into like a frozen blood dagger and stabs him with it. Was one of the
Mm-hmm.
baddest moments I've seen. But the movie never surpassed that. It never gives you any more. And after that, it was like I found myself trying to stay awake as they were fighting. And let me ask you this: apparently, in this version, they're fighting the I guess the heroes before they even get to the tournament, correct? Because in the original,
Yeah.
they had the tournament in it, right?
Yeah, well, this is a Mortal Kombat that didn't have the Mortal Kombat, right? I mean, it was like they didn't have the tournament, which is
They're
once
saving it. They're
again
saving it for the sequel. They're saving it for the
yeah, they're
sequel.
saying it for the sequel, which it reminds me of what they did with Robin Hood with Russell Crowe back in the day. Remember
Oh
when they did the
yeah.
Russell Crowe Robin Hood?
Before
It
he's an
was the
outlaw.
prequel. Yeah,
Yeah.
they wanted to do the prequel before all the interesting stuff happened, and you're going, why? Well, I don't
I
want
would
to see
love.
all the boring stuff that happened before
I
he becomes Robin Hood.
I would love to be in that pitch room. I was saying, okay, we're going to do the story of Robin Hood. Well, we've done it 1,000 times. No, but this is different because this is before he's the outlaw. We're going to show Robin Hood coming to the point he becomes the outlaw. So we're going to spend the most of the time with all the boring stuff. So by the time we get to the cool stuff, the movie's over. Well, let's
Yeah,
do it. Let's greenlight it.
yeah. I don't know that much about Mortal Kombat, but I do know they have like a plethora of these amazing characters that they've been developing over the years and that they've featured on the video games and even in some of the earlier movies. And
Mm-hmm.
you choose to create a completely new character that doesn't even have any cool powers. I mean, as I don't know what his power is, and that's another thing that didn't really define well in the movie is if I'm a layman coming into this not knowing anything about Mortal Kombat, I would be completely lost not knowing anything about any of the powers that these people possess
Yeah, yeah.
or any
What
of
are their
the reason why they have them. You
Well, yeah.
know?
What are their power sources? I mean, I know that Sub Zero, it's cold. They made that clear. Got his power
Yeah.
source, and I guess is it Liu Kang? I guess he's has something to do with fire.
Well, it seems like the only way that these powers get unlocked is if you get really pissed off, right?
Again,
Because you
then
had the Aussie guy that the actually he was probably one of the more fun characters in the show.
hmm
The one that
hmm
got the bad scratch on the face, and
yeah,
I guess
right.
he
Kano.
develops
I think
the.
his name is
Is
Kano.
it
I
Kano?
think. I
Kano?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Kano. He was probably my favorite character in it because he was at least sort of fun and has some good quips and everything. And then he gets pissed off halfway through it while they're having the dinner and they keep on offending him. And I guess because they're trying to get that power to be released, and finally his power is that he's got a laser that comes out of his eye, sort of like Superman.
Uh,
You
yeah.
know,
I remember that scene.
yeah.
You know,
But
you had the hat guy, the guy with I forgot his name, but
the
he
hat
did.
guy,
They had the hat
he's the
guy.
hat guy.
You had the blonde, the white blonde, blue eyed or brown eyes. I don't know what her eye color was. Who was? I think she's also a character, but she doesn't have the birthmark because all of them has to have a birthmark that means they're chosen. They don't. I don't know the
The Sonya
rules.
Blade
Lee.
characters. The Sonya Blade. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
military.
Sonya
Her,
Blade.
and
Yeah,
yeah, Sonya Blade and Jax character. The
yeah,
Jax is it
yeah,
Jax? That
yeah.
they're partners. They're
hmm
partners. They're sort of military. They come
You
from a
knew that
military
because when you went
background.
into her apartment, there was a picture of them in their military garb taking a
That was the
picture.
backstory. That
That
was
was their
their backstory.
backstory.
Was the photograph.
Enough, Hollywood, please. Enough with photographs of characters that are supposed to have backstories. We don't need it anymore. It's too much. Just stop it, okay? You guys
Yeah,
abuse it, and if you Photoshop it, do it the right way. Just get the actors together
yeah.
and take the
They
pictures.
they They never get it right.
They never get it right. They never get it
They
right.
never get it right. Well, you
Um,
had your
and the,
once again the lead character, the Cole Young character. I didn't give a damn. I mean, they gave him the stereotypical family.
he was the baby. Was he? He was the baby in the begin. No, no, he wasn't the baby, but the baby. But he was the ancestor of that baby that one wizard took.
The baby is saved. You think, okay, that's going to be something, but no, we're going to jump a couple of generations after that.
Thank
Well,
you.
I guess the baby had other babies, and those had babies, so it became this guy.
Okay, I didn't know what time frame we were at. At first, I thought, okay, wait a minute. I guess this is Japan, but centuries ago. But at the same time, I was like, but is it today's?
Everything else, even the other fight scenes, I felt was just lame. I felt like the choreography was not very good. I felt like the shooting of it and the cutting of it, it was so choppy. It's like get actual martial artists, and if you did get great actual martial artists to do this, then you really did them a disservice because I felt like the martial
I
arts was, for the most part, really weak.
Yeah, I thought that. It's so funny because that first 5 minutes really worked because the first of all the actor that was I guess he's Scorpion. I'm pretty certain he is.
Mm-hmm.
He was the protagonist in that 5 minutes. He's a well-known character actor. I mean, we've seen him in I think he was in the Wolverine, and he's also in he's actually in Endgame. There's the sequence with him fighting Ronan, but he just had such weight and gravitas that when he threw down, he killed it. Now, obviously, they probably had a stunt guy for him, but they just did a better job of
Mm-hmm.
of 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 using him and using him well. And if they hit him well. Where I think they just didn't have that with those other actors because none of them really could fight. So, and I think that's where the whole movie just falls apart because if your other characters can't actually fight or do real martial arts, then you got a problem when the movie's called Mortal Kombat and we're expecting these martial artists to be able to throw it out.
Well, that's a huge. I think that's a huge problem. In a movie like this, you can almost look past the acting and the bad dialogue and maybe even the bad writing. If you deliver the action to the point where I'm just blown
Yeah,
away,
yeah,
I can
yeah,
do. I can forgive a lot. But the problem was for the exception of maybe a couple of really bloody kills. The one kill that I thought was really memorable was when the one winged villain gets
yeah.
cut in half with the guy's hat. The guy that had
Yeah,
the
that
metal
was crazy.
hat. She
Yeah.
gets cut in half. I thought, wow, that's definitely within the spirit of Mortal Kombat, and I thought that was pretty gruesome and bloody and fun at the same time.
My thing was I did not know the rules, and the movie did a bad job of explaining for a novice like myself that's not a Mortal Kombat fan. I didn't know what was it Outworld that was like some other
Yeah,
realm where the
yeah,
bad
yeah,
guys stay at, and then
yeah.
Earth was called something I don't know. Was
Earth.
it real? Earth, yeah.
I mean,
Just Earth.
it's
Yeah,
like
that's what it's called. What's it called? Earth. Okay.
Earth. I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't understand the rules. I didn't understand and those characters, and they didn't bother to really define any characters. To be honest with you, I wanted to just go back to that 5 minutes and say, can we just do a story on that character and that rivalry?
Yeah, they really screwed themselves, didn't they? Because that character never reappears until the very end. You're thinking,
Until the
well,
very
okay,
yeah.
at least Scorpion is going to be a major player in this storyline, and he's
Mm-hmm.
completely forgotten until the very last act when he just magically reappears to have the final fight with Sub Zero.
How did it reappear again? Because I think the idea is that he is the ancestor of the Cole. Is that the Cole Young? Is that the character?
Yeah, I guess the
So
Ko
he
Young is his great grandson or something.
Yeah, and so I guess somehow I can't look. I saw the movie and I can't even tell you how it happened. But I guess when he was fighting Sub Zero, he magically appeared and he was able to
Mm-hmm.
fight and defeat Sub Zero. But I don't, for the life of me, know how is that possible. And then by killing Sub Zero and then having Scorpion already being killed earlier in the movie, then where does that leave you when you do the sequel, Mortal Kombat 2 Electric Boogaloo? How do you, I mean,
Well,
you killed off two known
they'll probably come
characters
up with some
for this,
silly thing that brings Sub
bring them
Zero
back.
back, because you got to bring him
Yeah.
back, right?
And again, it's amazing how 5 minutes they were able to set up Scorpion, his family, and Sub Zero, and still make that
Yeah.
interesting, and still make that like, oh, holy fuck. But yet they don't do it anyplace else, and also explain the rules to me. When Scorpion's family gets frozen, they're dead. But yet, towards the end of the movie, Cole's family also gets frozen. They're alive.
The reason why Scorpion's family dies is because I did notice that when he looked at their corpses within the ice, there looked to be some sort of an ice arrow or an ice sword through them. So I guess he killed them with an ice sword through them, whereas for whatever reason, Young's family, he chose not to do that. He just froze them. He didn't actually stab them with a ice sword.
But wouldn't freezing them kill them too?
You would think so, Greg. You would think so, but I guess in the world of Mortal Kombat, that just, and the world of the screenwriter, if that's not an issue, then we don't have to worry about that. Why ask questions? Why are you asking questions, Greg?
And you know what? On that note, I'm going to stop asking questions because
I will say that if you are a Mortal Kombat fan and you are also a fan of movies or good movies, my suggestion, instead of watching this piece of shit, watch the animated movie that came on HBO Max about a year ago called Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. The animation, I thought, definitely got it right as far as story, characters, and they had Johnny Cage in that one, which I'm going, you don't have Johnny Cage, probably your more interesting character out of the whole Mortal Kombat universe, at least the one character that a lot of people have fun with. And that's another thing. I just felt like this movie was void of any fun and joy.
Yeah.
And the animation, I thought, got it better with the visuals. I think definitely got better with the story and the characters. And they actually have the tournament in that one, too, where they don't even have the tournament in this movie.
I am more curious now of looking. I will check that animation out. I did see a little clip that you showed me, and it did look amazing. So I can't wait to watch that. So where can they find you, Lee?
They can find me at Lee Anthony Smith on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And where can they find you, Greg?
You can find me at Gregory J Bradley, Twitter, Instagram. But more importantly, follow our film, Noir the Film. Like and subscribe. All right. Well, until next time, I'll catch you later.
See you later, man.